What is up, Squared Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today we're coming at you from the Mobile Command Center. Now, this deck profile that I'm showcasing here was featured in our recent Battle Chamber video. It was a Hirudegarn Demigra deck versus a Clash of Fates Frieza. I want to really give a quick shout out to my boy Evan for hooking me up with his deck profile, his deck list rather, so we can throw it up on the screen here and kind of go over his choices and what he decided to play. Now, we're going to get right into the deck real quick, but before we do, I just want to shout out a couple people. Obviously, shout out Shenron's Lair for this awesome platform here that they've provided us. We've been using Shenron's Lair here at No Counters, No Combos for a very, very long time, and we're happy to see them increase their, community outreach. If you guys are looking for an online deck builder client, definitely check out Shenron's Lair. And the guys over there on the team, Marcus, is a great guy. He's always very active in the community, he's just they're just really good. They have other things to offer besides the deck builder, so definitely check them out. And of course, my sponsor, Computer and Gaming Universe, and one of my favorite local shops, Level 1 Games. Without these guys, both Computer and Gaming Universe and Level 1 Games, we wouldn't be where we're at today. Bringing you this content and being able to talk about Dragon Ball. So let's get right into the deck profile. So the first card we're going to be looking at is 2 Chronoas. Obviously, 2 Chronoas is just a solid choice in a main board during the format right now because it shuts down Shugesh really early. It's just a cantrip, 1 energy, draw a card. This deck doesn't really do anything until turn 3. You just kind of play defense, draw cards, dig for your pieces. It's more of a mid-range slash late game deck, so we definitely need to get there. And Chrono is just a solid turn 1, turn 2 play, since you're not going to be so aggressive with anything but your leader to gain advantage. So the next card I want to talk about is just the Demigra package. So we have the 4-drop, the 2 4-drops, one of them being the Power Booster promo, and we have the 7-drop. So the Dark Overwhelm 4-drop is a 20k swing. You're rarely going to Dark Overwhelm him. You're just going to most likely bring him out with the 7-drops effect. But his auto is amazing. When he attacks, your opponent chooses a card and sends it to the warp. And if it's a battle card, you can combo with it. So it kind of has like a pseudo hand destruction element to it, but it also makes your opponent forces your opponent to use extra cards if they don't want you to combo up. So it's pretty good. And then, of course, the Power Booster is, Overwhelm for 3, and it gains the Xeno Evolve 3, a 7-drop Demigra. So it makes the SR Demigra 7-drop more playable. I kind of slept on this card for a while. Like when the Power Boosters first came out, I really thought it was one of the worst ones, with Hirudegarn. But I never really saw into the potential of it. I thought the Piccolo was better than this card, but I'm obviously wrong in that aspect. But this Demigra does give a lot of needed boost to the archetype itself, because it's Overwhelm for free, and then you just Xeno Evolve with your energy. And when you Xeno Evolve into the 7-drop, he comes out and he plays a battle card from your warp. So you can essentially get any of your battle cards here, and then you start plussing that way. The 7-drop really that's all he does. I mean, he comes out, he warps a creature on your opponent's board, and then he plays one from his warp. But he's just a 30k swing. It is a big body, but there's no double strike or anything like that. So it's more of a controlling. You can kind of see how it gets to the later game here. But it is a really, really good card. Definitely, without the promo, it would be virtually unplayable. So shout out to Evan for thinking off the cuff. I know this deck had been featured a little bit, I think, at the PPG Atlanta tour, but he decided to build it and start playing it, and he had some success with it, so we wanted to bring you guys the list here. Next, we're going to get into just like your blue staples, 4 Senzu Beans, obvious choice, and 4 Phantom Flame Cannon. Now, Phantom Flame Cannon, in my opinion, is the best card in the deck. Using the Hirudegarn leader, you get the added bonus of being able to use Phantom Flame Cannon. And what it does is, for 1 blue energy, it gives you a 10,000 power boost to your leader. But you also choose a card from your opponent's hand and put it to the top of their deck. Now, if you're at 4 life, or 4 energy rather, and your Hirudegarn is awakened, you're going to be taking 2 cards, because Hirudegarn's auto is when he attacks your opponent, if you have 4 more energy, your opponent places a card from the top, from their hand to the top of their deck. So that's 2 cards that they're losing. So you're essentially setting them back in their turns, and they're playing backwards because they're going to be drawing the same cards and not gain more advantage. Phantom Flame Cannon is a very, very good card. It works both offensively and defensively. Next, we have Time Magic. It's just the best blue negate in the game. You're playing a blue leader, so it's obvious. And we have 4 Group Leader Peel Off. Now, I thought this card was pretty interesting. Group Leader Peel Off is seeing a lot more play recently because the effect of its counter ability to basically remove a key skill from any battle card your opponent has is pretty good. You know, you could get rid of the triple strike, you can get rid of the triple attack, you can get rid of stuff, especially against Shenron, but it does not negate the attack. So the attack is still going to go through, so if you don't feel like you're going to survive it, just make sure you take away one of their key skills that might set you back. You know, if your opponent's confident, you know, with a crit attacker, and they throw a double strike Champa on it, you know, you can, obviously before the combo phase, you know, if you can read that, you can counter with the peel off and take away the critical. So if they do decide to throw a Champa on it, they're going to give you 2 cards as opposed to neg you 2 cards. But I definitely see where Group Leader Peel Off fits. It is blue energy, worst case scenario, and it's discard fodder for Hoy and the Hirudegarn leader on the front side. So I think it was a pretty solid choice. The next card is for Burnish Bond Borgos. So I'm looking at the 1-drop spread here, and he's got 2 Cronoa and 2 Borgos, and then 4 Peel Off. If it were me, I would reduce Peel Off just completely and take it out of the deck, and just max out on Borgoses and Cronoas. Cronoa, especially because you'll see it faster, so you'll turn off Shugesh sooner, but they replace a card, so they're cantrips. So you play them for 1 energy, and they replace themselves, and then they're just free combo power on the board. Peel Off is good, but I think it's more of a side deck option. This is just my opinion. I think Peel Off is a great card, but I think I would find more use for 2 more Borgos and 2 more Cronoa just to filter through, because you need to get to your pieces. This deck does draw a lot, but if you can draw into other cards that are going to help you more, you won't have to dig as much for your combo piece. And he also shuts down your opponent from untapping offensively, which we're not really seeing too much in the meta right now. And then the best super combo in the game, we have 4 Hoy, Emissary of the Flame. Card is nuts. Obviously, it's the best super combo as of right now until Paragus comes out. But, you know, play Hoy, discard a card, draw 2 is just ridiculous. Then we have 4 Tapions. Now, Tapion's pretty interesting at 4. Obviously, if your opponent wants to stall you out, you need to get to your Awaken side. So you have a Self-Awakener. And Tapion's a pretty good option. I would have liked to see a split between 2 Tapion and 2 Time Trauma Massayan, just because it gives you a little more versatility, and Time Trauma being black, you don't need specified energy for it. You know, sending stuff back to their hand is pretty good, but warping stuff is a little better. So I understand why Tapion, because it doubles up as blue energy in a free 5k combo, but I would have liked to have seen a 2-2 split between Tapion and Time Trauma. But all in all, it is still a really good card. Then we have 4 at all cost Vegeta, which is nuts. 4 at all cost Vegeta is just a lot, but it's a good card, and this deck doesn't really focus too much on late game finishers, because you just kind of control your opponent with your Demigra board control here. But if you need to sneak a win and you haven't, you know, you have the energy to play it, at all cost Vegeta is just such a powerful card. You know, for 4 energy, it untaps 1, draws you a card. It takes 2 life to give itself triple strike and kill one of your opponent's creatures, and then it obviously gets a buff of 3,000 power for each energy that you have charged. So he can swing for some serious damage. I definitely agree with this card being in the deck. And I don't really see any reason for it to be taken down. I think 4 is a lot, but hey, who cares, you know, whatever. If it works for you, it works for you. Worst case scenario, it is blue charge fodder, and it's just a really solid finisher. And then to round it off, we have a couple of red cards. We have 2 Furthering Destruction Champa, which is a staple nowadays in the meta. 1 energy, you give a creature double strike. Obviously, there's training wheels on Champa because you don't have to declare the double strike, but you know, it's still the OG when it comes to giving your attacker double strike. And then we have 4 Unbreakables, 4 Unbreakable Spirit Son Goku. 1 energy, 10k combo, so netting a card, so you're breaking even, and it's just going to help you extend and dig further through your deck. And if you need to make an offensive push and you have the energy for it, Unbreakable works that way as well. So that's pretty much the deck. Now to get to the actual leader, because the Demigra package is black. It doesn't really have specified cost. Technically, you could play it with any leader, but I definitely see why Hirudegarn was a choice. So obvious reasons on the front side, when you attack, you can discard a card and draw 2. That's very good because you can fuel your drop for your overwhelm play and get your pieces in there, and then obviously replace it with 2 new cards. So that's always good. And then the Awaken side is very powerful. When you're at 4 or more energy and you attack, obviously you draw a card for the auto. But when you're at 4 or more and you attack, your opponent has to place a card from the top of their hands to the top of their deck. So if you combo that with Phantom Flame Cannon, like I said earlier, you're going to set your opponent back a couple turns. And being an untapped 2 leader just makes so much sense utilizing the Demigra stuff, because you can Xeno Evolve and then Awaken to untap and not be completely tapped out, because you're going to lose your drop area for sparking. So you can kind of play around that. And then obviously Hirudegarn's just busted because it has the best super combo in the game. So I definitely agree with Evan's choice in leader here. It's just minor tweaks I would make to the build, but all in all, it's really solid. And I just wanted to showcase this. And again, shout out Evan. Thank you so much for sending me this list so I can get it up on the channel, because I know there was people requesting to see this build. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if you guys are looking for something spicy to play before set 6 drops, I definitely recommend checking this out. The Demigra stuff is a lot of fun. There's so many ways you can build it, so many leaders that you can experiment with. Hirudegarn is definitely a safe choice. So if you like playing a more controlled mid-range strategy, you can definitely check out Hirudegarn, especially being a blue leader. It has access to some of the better cards in the game. Also, Untap 2 is very important, but by all means, this is not the end-all, be-all. I can definitely see Demigra being played with other leaders, especially if they're Untap 2 leaders. So with that being said, we're going to get on out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Click the bell to get notified when we drop our next video here at No Counters, No Combos, so you're always in the loop for just amazing quality content. Thank you guys so much. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this deck. Are there any changes that you would make? Have you been experimenting with the Demigra cards as well? And if there's anything else you guys would like to see from me or from us here in the future. We really appreciate the feedback, and we're more than happy to be a part of this growing, amazing community. We're going to get on out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Be there or be squared.